Oh my God. So that's courtesy of AWTR. I don't even know what the AWTR stands for, but he has a YouTube channel. He's created a song, an anthem for the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Let me put my earplugs on to make sure you guys can hear me this time. I don't know what happened with my last live. That video showed up, but then when I was talking it, you couldn't hear it. So I had to switch to my phone and put my headphones on. Hopefully you guys can hear me this time. I think I put the link in the comments. Did I? I don't know. Let me see. Let me do it again. Might not be the right one that's there. So yeah, I just wanted to come and to touch on a video by another YouTuber by the name of Oshay Duke Jackson. Yeah, it's the same one. He had the nerve to put up this video, right, saying, "Oh, look how far Kevin Samuels has come, and you should always believe in yourself," and all this stuff. But what he is doing is ignoring how Kevin Samuels got to that point. And I guess because so many Black people see other Black people do this, they just think that this type of stuff is okay. And that's really the only thing that I can kind of, you know, point to. Outside of some people are just, they don't care about themselves. And that is a part of that inferior complex that I spoke about last year when I was talking about Kevin Samuels. I haven't been talking about Kevin Samuels as much, especially on this channel. I had a channel that I was going to dedicate directly to him, especially since he put strikes on my page. But I just said, I'm just gonna talk about him when I feel like it. I don't want to be on here acting like an angry bird, like some of these other people getting in arguments every day. Um, but I will say this, and I still feel the same way. I don't agree with the Black men that are on here, um, promoting violence towards women, in particular Black women, using Black women to entertain other groups of people, and then talk about how they don't have any plan on being with the Black, and some of them are not with Black women. And so you really should be speaking on us. And when somebody comes for you, you have the nerve to get an attitude. It's like some other situations. People want to say all this stuff about Black folk, but then when you hit back, then all of a sudden everybody's a damn victim. And I keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying it. That stuff don't work everywhere, because that don't work with me. You can cry all the crocodile tears, tears you need to cry, and start singing Kumbaya and Don't Worry, Be Happy, and whatever you want to sing out here, child. I don't care. I give it to people how they give it. That's it and that's all. Like, I don't owe nobody nothing out here, and I'm never going to live my life like I do. So y'all can miss it with that BS. I don't owe Kevin Samuels anything, and I'm not concerned about his success or anything else. Whatever foolery y'all trying to run with that, like y'all doing something for somebody, go save somebody's life. Go really do something for somebody worth talking about. Okay. Because he was already out, he was all right out here, Pookie and Ray Ray, while he trying to call somebody else a Pookie and Ray Ray. Anyway, so O'Shea has created this video, like saying that, oh, look how far Kevin Samuels has come. Future, the rapper Future, has reached out to him to be in a music video, like as if that's saying something. Um, but for small minded, I guess, whatever you choose to call it. I'm not moved or impressed about any celebrities contacting whoever on YouTube, child. So what is that doing? you know Kevin Samuels was already making money long before Future reached out to him, and in an elitist type way. That's the only reason why he's reaching out to him anyway. So let's keep it real about that too, because he has definitely been the poster child. He's definitely been the poster child for a lot of the videos that O'Shea and Kevin Samuels have put out here. Now, Kevin Samuels might be in his catalog trying to delete some of the stuff that he probably has said about him in the past, but they both have certainly had a whole lot to say about Future. And this is not my definition of anyone, because like I said, I don't use all these labels. I'm not calling nobody high value out here. I'm not calling nobody Pookie and Ray Ray out here. I'm talking about their conversation. That this is what this conversation is about. It's not about how I feel about anyone because I don't label Future that way. This is what they have said about him and men like him who go out here and make children, and they're not in the household with those children, and then they call themselves talking about the black women who chose these men. Right? This was the excuse for men not being in the house doing what they are supposed to do as men, taking care of the families that they're making. Otherwise, you shouldn't be out here creating these families, right? Or these households that you're now responsible for. Um, so he has been the poster child for both of these guys for a long time. And I just showed you a couple of videos, and there's a list of videos that Oshay has about Future. So he don't expect no phone call from Future. And then again, Future may not know that he said these things about him. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like it's the elitist thing for them to even be contacting him anyway, because when his ass was broke and running around here trying to get cologne bottles from the department stores, they were not reaching out to him, right? So I don't know who's supposed to be impressed with Future reaching out to Kevin and why. Y'all can explain that to me in the comments. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to come on and really kind of say that, and to say, as I was getting ready to put this video together, I thought about it. I was like, I'm not surprised by the behavior of celebrities anyway, because they are Kevin Samuels at the end of the day. It's like that old saying that Dick Gregory said years and years ago. Um, at 98% of black folk, they run to Hollywood. They have ran there to sell their soul. They went there to sell their soul to the highest bidder. So they don't care about the stuff that they're doing, but at the end of the day, it don't matter how much money these people have in their pocket, you and I still can walk out the door. We can still get the same treatment in this country, on this soil. So it don't mean a lot. It doesn't mean a lot that you went to go get this money by any means necessary when things are still the same. At the end of the day, that young man, Aubrey, what was his name? Ahmad Aubrey was running down the street minding his business. Okay, I don't care if he looked in a window or not. If the house was empty, so what? You know, he was minding his business, and look what happened to him. And that wasn't no 200 years ago. So please don't come over here with no fool la la, because I'm not the one. You have to play that where it works. It does not work over here. I'm gonna call things what they are. Um, and so I'm not surprised that these celebrities doing that, because, like I said, they would not have wanted to talk to Kevin Samuels when he was broke out here begging folk for them cologne bottles and doing all the other foolishness that people have accused him of. Um, but yeah, he has built his channel off the backs of black women and black people. So when we talking, let's tell the truth about that. And let's tell the truth about what his audience really looked like. And then I thought about it because, one time I was out, I don't even remember why I was outside a Future concert, but I was not going in. I'm not, I already said that I don't do this hip hop today. Like, it's very few people that I can get behind. Um, and I don't know why I was surprised, and I was still living in Atlanta at that time. I don't know why I was surprised, but I probably was one of the maybe five people that was black out there. So obviously his audience don't look like him or whatever he is, because I don't know what he is either, right? So I guess him rubbing elbows with Kevin Samuels is right up his alley. And then we already know that this video is going to have some demeaning meaning to it anyway, right? Who else? Why would you call it Kevin Samuels? And another thing that's funny, look at the people that are reaching out to these guys. I don't know that they're reaching out to Oshay, because like I said, Oshay is not, he's not Kevin Samuels, so they won't be giving Oshay those phone calls. But Oshay, I think Oshay really was that guy that was in that bed when he had that glitch in the system, as he said. And you can see a man laying in the bed on the other side of his camera. I really think that it was Oshay laying in that bed, allegedly. Let me throw that allegedly on their child. But I do think it was him, because he's always just doing all this, doing too much for the too much when it comes to Kevin Samuels for whatever reason. But yeah, Future won't be reaching out to Oshay. But you already know that this video, whatever it is going to be something demeaning towards our people or towards his people, whatever he is, because I don't know what he is. A lot of these people just in brown skin. They're not necessarily foundational black people. and people riding on the backs of the things that we worked hard for in this country, and then they want to spew all this ignorance and stuff, and take things for granted because they don't understand what it took for people to get to the point that they had to get to, the point that we're where we're at, and which ain't that far, because we still have the lowest on the totem pole across the board. um, so people not working on that. They're not working on nothing worth nobody talking about. So I don't really get off into all this nonsense. But what I wanted to do was play a video by PBM, and he's talking about Kevin Samuel's audience. And this is something that I said. I pointed this out a long time ago. He just recently pointed it out again because of, all of this talk again about Kevin Samuels through these celebrities. See, these celebrities are now the ones trying to give him this push, and they're only trying to do that, like I said, is because of his status changing. They weren't looking for Kevin Samuels when he was out here broke. Okay, so let's keep it real about that. But I'm gonna go ahead on and play what he had to say. I've already said this before, because you can go and look and see the type of people that are following Kevin Samuels, and you know that his audience is not black. And so these people are getting off on the self-loathing, the division, the promotion of division, the genociding of who black people are, and just all of it that they know that Kevin Samuels represents, right? Even though he's out here trying to backpedal. But I'll get back into that after I play this video.
Good to know if you're the same. When I first started watching Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, there's a part of me that I notice that gets satisfied by watching that. Like, yeah, you take those thoughts down, you take those bitches down. I'm like,
my attention has lately been drawn to Kevin Samuels. Maybe y'all have heard of him. Every single one of his videos is, they're all very entertaining.
Keep it real. Before you make a decision about Kevin Samuels, I think you need to watch more than just his viral videos that, having said that, I have watched most of his videos.
I would say I've probably watched 50 hours of Kevin Samuels in the past 2 weeks. Maybe overkill. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated by it. It's one of the most entertaining things I've seen in a long time.
You see, these 1.3 million subscribers, they are not black people. These thumbnails, they are only appealing to non-black people. Kevin Samuels is tap dancing for money. Straight up tap dancing. I don't know who is entertained by black women making a fool of themselves on YouTube. But I can assure you that the vast majority of black people are not entertained by it. We are not entertained by that.
there's a part of me that I notice that gets satisfied by watching that. Like, yeah, you take those thoughts down, you take those bitches down. I'm like,
and so, so Kevin, he's always had these videos about Pookies and Ray Rays. And like I said, I don't necessarily feel this way. I don't, define men this way. My people is my people. That's how I roll. But when you're thinking, the guys that he's constantly telling these black girls that come on his show, these black women, well, you got pregnant by the street guy, the guy who didn't really have his stuff together, even though we can say Future has money, but he's not in the household with these children. And there's still a conversation there that still applies to what Kevin Samuels is saying, because he can't be in the house with all these kids at the same time, right? And so you're limited in your parenting with these children. And he has said this himself, okay? But now you're on the phone with Future about to jump up in the video, and I'm almost sure it's something by way of them demeaning women. And it should not be about black women, since y'all claim that's not what y'all do. In particular, these rappers and Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels was also saying a bunch of colorist and racist things that he shouldn't have been over there saying. And then now today, of course, he's trying to backpedal to these other YouTubers that are interviewing him, is trying to say, I never said that. And then people are having to pull up videos where he did, in fact, say the very things that they're asking him about, now that he's trying to say he never said those things. Because what he's trying to do is to appeal to coonwood, right? Anybody of color that I guess can pull, well, probably non-color, since they are so fascinated by him, and we know that they're not above pulling these people in and, letting them tap for them. So I guess he's trying to appeal to those people and pretend as if he has a black audience and that he in some way can benefit them, because coonwood is about money. All of this is about money. At the end of the day, they're not going to want to work with him unless he's going to have an audience, for them to make money off of. And so he wants to pretend like he has that within the black community, and he don't. Future don't have that within the black community. Okay, so let's keep it real. These people that he's talking to are not the classiest of black folk anyway in coonwood. So let's keep it real about that as well. And some of them, I don't necessarily consider them coons. I'm just talking about even the ones that are, that's doing anything for money. He's not going to, get into conversations with certain people, right? Because a lot of these women that he's saying all this stuff about and that are worthless or not worthy are those women. He said even the women with money, right? Remember, he said this, even if you have money, you don't deserve a certain lifestyle, and you don't deserve a family. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve that. Or, he is the one who said this, okay, about those women. And he's also already pointed out some of those women in Hollywood and had certain things to say about them. And I guess now he's trying to pull away from that, especially that they're giving him attention. And so that's funny to me. And so I think he's trying to appeal to certain people, but it's going to be, interesting to see how that works out. And I'm not going to be surprised if it works out, because like I said, we understand who these people are and who they really are trying to capture with the nonsense that they push about us as a people. I keep going back to that Mike Hill video when he said, why don't we see positive images of black men as, as bosses and having their own companies, running their own companies, and, out front, you see them standing beside stronger black women on these reality shows, because y'all don't want to see that, right? You don't want to see that. And so if a black woman with money has a black man, she has to be taking care of him. You get what I'm saying? That's the narrative that's pushed. And that's the narrative that they want to see pushed, because they're trying to say, to pimp the system. And I'm not just talking about black people when I talk, but I'm talking about them as well, because a lot of them are the ones that's in Hollywood pushing all that stuff. They're the ones in brown skin. A lot of them are probably not African American, but they are in brown skin, and they're pushing these narratives because they think that's what certain people want to see, or they know that's what certain people want to see. And so that's what they're doing. And so, yeah, they might pick up a Kevin Samuels for whatever reason. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he could possibly offer to anybody that's of value, because all of that shit that he says, sits over there and says on his channel has no merit. Like he don't use stats. He's lying. He's making up stuff, and he's using stereotypes of black women to create these stories, and then he's paying these girls to come on there and pretend like they're really going through these situations. And I've already pointed out the fact that there was a girl that was on Instagram who said that her doing that for Kevin Samuels ended up causing problems in her real relationship, and that's why she came out and told the truth. You guys can go look that up on Instagram. I can't remember her name, but I guess he had created some story for Media Takeout a couple years ago, to try to build a story around himself. And she was a part of that. And he paid her, I guess, to do that. And so she came back and told the truth, because she said that was, really hurting her real relationship with her boyfriend. And so, he is not above paying people to sit there and to be demeaned. And so he's doing that for his audience, and his audience, the majority of his audience is not black. Entertainers might be getting off on that because, like I said, they're not above tap dancing themselves. And so that's probably why they're amused by his behavior, because they do the same thing. Um, and I'm sure we could put on a couple of Future songs and you will see what I mean. I don't think I have to go that far to prove my point with that, but I digress. So let me know what you guys think about this conversation. Like I said, they have said many things about Future themselves, okay? And I'm sure Kevin Samuels is over there probably deleting stuff out of his catalog to try to pretend like he didn't say those things in the past. But I'm almost positive he has used Future as an example, because I'm sure some of those women has used Future as an example. And I know Oshay has made several videos about Future, right? And I just showed you guys two already, that the most recent ones. So he has had said things about Future as well. So when they say Pookie and Ray Ray, they're talking about guys who are making children and not in the household with those children. But their point was that Black women that are single mothers because they're not looking for high value men, or they're not looking for guys of quality who really want a family. They're just getting pregnant by anyone, and then they're trying to blame the Black man. Well, it takes two people to make a child. And so like I said, I don't know who didn't teach y'all that. So if you made a child, you're just as responsible for that child as that woman, point blank and period. And there's no other excuse and no up and no down to that. It's two people are responsible for any and every child that comes here, okay? So miss me with the nonsense. Let me know what you guys think about this conversation in the comments. I just thought it was funny that Oshay tried to, do this whole thing like Kevin is growing and he's doing this and doing that, like it's something positive, but he's done that on the backs of Black women and pushing stereotypes and ignorance, that other people just want to believe anyway. And no, it's not okay, because when people go out into the real world and have to deal with people, they're listening to this stuff, and then they're using this stuff to use it towards the Black person that's in front of them. And so it's not okay for you to push these things. It's not okay for you to sit and make up stuff that is not true and keep saying it, But I digress. I'm going to go out with Pookie and Ray Ray, the anthem, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray. Yeah. Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray. Come and party with Pookie and Ray Ray. Come and party with Pookie and Ray Ray.